Alright guys, the latest news TV. The event that led to the Biafra War. The Nigeria Civil War, popularly known as the Biafra War, remains one of the darkest and most significant events in Nigeria's history. This war was between July 6, 1967 and January 15, 1970. This was a conflict between the federal military government of Nigeria and the secessionist Republic of Biafra, led by the Eastern region. These conflicts claimed hundreds of thousands of lives directly, while famine and diseases caused by the blockade of Biafra resulted in the deaths of many more civilians. Although this war officially began in July 1967, its origins can be traced to political rivalry, colonial policies, ethnic tension, military coups, and violence that unfolded the years after Nigeria gained independence. Many historians argue that the seeds of this conflict were planted during British colonial rule. In 1914, the British they augmented the northern and southern protectorate into one country called Nigeria without creating a common national identity among the diverse ethnic groups. By independence in 1960, Nigeria politics had become heavily regional, dominated by the Hausa Fulani in the north, the Yoruba in the west, and the Igbo in the east. More competition for this political power now go viral, now control of resources and fears of domination by the region over another created deep mistrust among the country's leaders. Many political crises after this independence. The political crisis long ago. The first Nigeria Republic soon faced serious political instability. The major controversies include allegations of electoral fraud, dispute population census figure, or more regional political violence. That one is one great one. Accusation of corruption against politicians, growing ethnic rivalry within government institutions. The Western region experienced a severe political crisis, most especially in 1965, while nationwide confidence in civilian leadership continued to decline. On January 15, 1966, a group of young military officers overthrew Nigeria's civilian government. These coups resulted in the death of several leading politicians and senior military officers. With this death of the military officers, they include Prime Minister Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. The other one is a Northern Premier Sir Amadu Bello. While the last one again is now Western Premier Samuel Akintola, because many of these are called plotters were Igbo officers and several prominent Eastern leaders survived. Many people in northern Nigeria believe the coup was an attempt to establish Igbo domination, even though historians continue to debate the motives of the coup leaders. Following this coups, Major General Johnson Agui Irons became Nigeria's head of state. This General Irons introduced Decree Number 34, which now replaced Nigeria's federal system with a unitary government too. Many political leaders, especially all those ones in the north side of Nigeria, opposed the decree, believing it concentrated excessive power at the center and reduce regional autonomy. These policy further increased tension across the country. On July 29, 1966, northern military officer carried out a counter-coup. General Ironsi was killed, together with the military governor of the western region, Ertiko Adekunle Fojuyi. Following this, the coup, his Ertiko Yakubu Guru emerged as Nigeria's new head of state. What led to this anti-Igbo violence? After the counter-coup, widespread attack against Igbo civilians occurred in several northern cities. Thousands of Easterners were killed, while many others fled back to the eastern region, fearing for their safety. These are mass movements of displaced people, depended the struggle between the eastern region and the federal government. In January 1967, again, Nigerian leaders met in Abuja, Ghana, in an attempt to resolve the crisis peacefully. These are meetings brought together Ertiko Yakubu Gowon and Eastern Regional Military Governor Ertiko Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Oshuko. Although both sides initially agreed on measures that would grant greater autonomy to Nigeria's regions, disagreement later emerged from these two friends over how the agreement should be implemented. The failure to fully implement the accord widened the political divide. On May 30, 1967, Ertiko Ojukwu declared the Eastern Region an independent nation known as the Republic of Biafra, so as Biafra began. This declaration was justified by Biafran leaders as necessary to protect the lives and interests of Easterners following the killing and political breakdown. This federal military government they now rejected the declaration, insisting that Nigeria must remain one united country. On July 6, 1967, federal troops advanced into Biafra territory, marking the official beginning of the Nigerian Civil War. After these troops emerged, the federal government now described this operation as a police action intended to restore national unity. However, the conflict quickly expanded into a full-scale civil war involving large military offensives on land, at sea, and also in the air. As they were fighting the federal government imposed a blockade on Biafra. This blockade severely restricted food, medicine, and humanitarian supplies entering the region. Images of several malnourished children drew worldwide attention and led to one of the largest humanitarian relief efforts of the 20th century. The scale of death remains debated by historians, but there is broad agreement that starvation and diseases cause catastrophic civilian losses. After 30 months of fighting, imagine long time, Biafra forces surrendered on January 15, 1970. The federal government declared a policy of no victor, no vanquished, promising national recognition and reconstruction after the conflict. Despite that policy, the war continues to shape discussion about national unity, federalism, recognition, and identity in Nigeria. More than 5 decades after this war ended, the Nigeria-Biafra conflict remains one of the country's most studied historical events. Scholars generally agree that no single event caused the war. Instead, it resulted from a combination of colonial legacy, political instability, ethnic violence, even military coup sef, constitutional disagreement, and the failed breakdown of negotiation between the federal government and the eastern region. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to always stay updated by subscribing, liking, ringing the notification bell, and sharing.